Hey everyone, Fatty from Pack a Punch Traders here. First week down of the year, and not too bad so far. We'll go over how the week went and some lessons in a little bit, but first, gonna go over yesterday's trade and some other trades as well. So going into the day yesterday, main watches were JSPR, MEGL, LHDX, and SWVL, all from top plays here from the night before. And I took MEGL. We'll go over that one last. Here, LHDX, really nice multi-day bounce. Went a lot further than expected. Wish I had my eye on this, but did not. It was a very nice high at daybreak over 16.1. Something we always talk about. Let it set the high, fail to break down, and then once it breaks that high, that's usually the best entry and indication of the momentum shifting. And as you can see here, that worked out very nicely, going from 16 to 46 within 40 minutes or so, maybe less. Like really not that long at all. Um, very nice, very nice play here. So I hope anybody who's been watching the video lessons captured that. Then we got LHDX. Same deal here. Had a rough morning, getting stuffed in the low 30s here. But then what happens after it fails to break down 25 cents is it climbs back. And once it really breaks that high of days, when you see the volume really pick up and it starts being a little more volatile and pushing up higher. So that high of day break, that's usually the key. And sometimes it doesn't work. All right, let's go on the daily chart here so I can show you that. So you got that long wick to the bottom, fails to break down, and shorts get squeezed way off of the highs. Very nice setup. Kind of annoyed I miss these multi-day bounces. I love that pattern and could have made some decent money on it. But then sometimes it doesn't work. As we saw with JSPR, I took a loss on it the other day. Twice getting faked out with that high day break. So maybe we'll adapt and either buy a much smaller starter position on the high day break or wait for the confirmation and really start sizing in there. Here we are again with a fake out. Didn't get it here, but just gets stuffed. And nice to see that it is on lower volume. If you look at the daily chart here, it keeps pushing lower, but selling pressure is not there. So maybe around $1.50 here, whole dollar, half dollar area. That could be a key area where it could possibly bottom out at. Dip buyers start coming back to it. It's over 50% off the highs. Doesn't have to. Obviously, we've seen plays give us a hard time and either take weeks to bottom out and they just keep fading, or you just never get a move. So JSPR, that's going to be next on watch heavily for a multi-day bounce, but just a good lesson on the high day break and how it is the best indication, but it doesn't always work. Not every single play is going to just be clear cut, just by the high, just wait, and it's going to take off 20, 30%. They're not all going to be like that. So this is still pushing downwards, and we're just going to wait for the momentum to shift. That's why we cut losses quickly, so we can stay in the game, not get emotional. Imagine if I were to get it up here around 213, and then I'm still holding on to it now and just adding on to it as it goes lower. You don't know how low it goes, so play it safe. Look for the right indicators. If it doesn't work out, just cut it. Then we got MEGL. This one, very nice call and execution as well. We got a previous high at daybreak that I was looking for around 290, and that ended up getting stuffed in the morning. Decent volume, continuing the push higher, propping it up. Low float on a Friday, shorts getting out of the play as it was still failing to break down. Let me take off all the arrows and whatnot, make this more clear. So here we got a decent gap up, is what it looks like at first, and then it just absolutely fades. But I still didn't take it off watch because it never went red. and right from the open, quick dip, but it comes right back and get stuffed at 290s, 3-ish area, whole dollar, half dollar area, as well the previous high at daybreak. And on the stream on Friday, I went over that saying how we'll be patient. This is a strong push from the 230s or wherever it opened, 250s. So let's give it some time, consolidate, prove itself, because it could be a key area where shorts are sizing into this, and that is what happened. There's shorts probably getting into this some more. It failed to break down, and that's what led to this move here. Shorts getting squeezed. So was patient with it, let it suck in the shorts. They were up for a bit, but what did it do? Couldn't even break the day low. It made a higher low just by a couple pennies. And then from there, I was liking it. Now I'll bring in the arrows. Started very small size getting in. 25 shares, 50 shares. None of these orders here were over 100 shares. Just small position, seeing if it could get a move to the 290s, because I know I adapted my plan. I was waiting for that 290 break, but recognizing how it failed to break down and it was holding the open price at 250, coming back for a VWAP, I was thinking we got some decent risk reward if I'm very small size, just a couple hundred shares here. And if I lose, I'm losing maybe $40. But if it works out, I get to really size up and then also have a good risk reward going off of VWAP or the 250s here, where if it gets stuffed and it breaks that, might really push it lower to the day low and even further than that, as the shorts would have momentum. But we started getting volume, and it kept holding up. And once we got back into the 280s, 290s, made a higher low, and I sized up big time here. Got my position to 900 shares, average of 282. Wait, no, 283. Yeah, 283. And from there, it was just being patient, letting the chart develop. If it fails, cut it. And if it takes off, I was going to try and sell into pieces. As you can see, I sold the first half, 450 shares at 314, thinking, okay, we got a solid burst. I'm up a little over 10%. Let's just lock in some gains in case this does end up being a fake out, because we do see how it does have some resistance from pre-market around the 320s area. And just a few minutes later, it just keeps bursting higher. And then at that point, I felt as I was going to be a little greedy. It's reaching my goals of about 50 cents. So let me just lock it in and just call it a week and just enjoy the profit. And that was a nice decision. It got stuffed in the 320s here, where it's got some resistance. And I was really thinking, if it had the momentum, it seemed like there was some strong demand. It's a low float. If this fails to keep breaking down, this really could, if it makes a higher low, this could possibly get to the 4 area, whole dollar, half dollar area, and then maybe get to the next resistance area in the mid 4s. But I wasn't thinking that far ahead. I was thinking maybe high 3s, 4-ish. But I was starting to just see this thing pull back, and I would be pissed selling while it's pushing lower when it was just spiking nicely and I could have had a nice exit. So that's sometimes when I do sell. If I know I'm going to sell if the price pulls back and be annoyed with it, I'm just going to sell it there. Why not? So average of about 322 and a half, just under that on the sell. So not too bad, about 13% or so. Not exactly sure. I forgot what it was. But yeah, this is just letting shorts get trapped. You see the failure to break down. And from there, it's just, does it have the demand? Is it holding up? Is it holding key areas? And it was already a decent push from the day before. Going from the low ones to the high twos, very strong push. So I was already at first kind of hesitant about the play, just a little bit. I did notice how it did hold up very nicely after hours. So when I saw the decent pre-market action, that's when I got a little more excited about it, because it was already up decently. So a lot of shorts were trapped in this. So once it did fail to break down, we got a nice push. I'm not gonna just keep repeating myself here. That's all it is. A short squeeze, held key areas. Short sellers' expectations were broken, and you got this nice squeeze. So let's move on here to some of the stats of the week. Had 7 trades. 3 of them were wrong. 57% win rate. Up just under 830 on the week, which isn't too bad, starting with a 5K account. Let's see here. Average loss on the week, 6.5%. And I'm okay with that because one of the plays, this nearly 9% loss here on JSPR, the second time I got faked out, it pushed a lot further than I expected on the loss. I thought I'd maybe cut it around 2. Ended up getting my exit out at 194. So that was a bit of a disappointment. So not too worried about this. It would definitely be a little lower within range of the 3 to 5% risk that I like. And then average gain, 15.5%. Not too bad. Normally I'm about 10, 11%. So I am giving them a little bit more room to run. So still need to work on that too. I'm not even selling near the top most of the times. So could work on some of the patience, but still, I will be more than happy to take 10 to 15%. You let that over time add up, and this account will get to the 100K that I'm aiming for this year. So here we are at 5,800, not too bad. Yeah, so decent week. Was having some nerves, coming into the first week of the year, wanting it to be green. I did have some of that pressure that I put on myself, as well as starting back with a small account. I really want to grow this thing, as well as we're getting back into streaming. We're going to have some live trades. So I felt a little bit of nerves. So with time, I'll work on that, and that'll go away, and it's just going to be another day, rinse and repeat. So left a lot on the table, that's for sure. I would say very good, not too bad. A little over 15% of my account on the week, and still leaving a lot of plays, taking a couple of dumb losses, bigger than I expected, as well as missing ATNF that second time. Because I took, where was it? Got this nice push here, high daybreak, got that reversal, but then it failed to break down. It held red-green of that day, and it just climbed back, and I was watching it, didn't have money in my account to take the trade, so I'm still adapting with my position sizing. Definitely need to go in smaller with my starters. Still have the mindset like I have a little bit of a bigger account. Could go in with 1,500 shares, or sorry, $1,500 as a starter. Probably now should really pull that back, and yeah, kind of messed me up here on ATNF, but it's okay. There's plenty of other plays right now. Market's doing good, so let's see if we continue that momentum going into next week. So yeah, not much to say. Not too bad of a week. Couple dumb losses from fake outs, so I'll accept that. Not too bad. Patience wise, I think I'm doing pretty good. Like I'm honestly never going to hold for a 50, 60, 70% gain. So taking my 10, 15%, I'll just work with that until I have more money in my account, and that 10, 15% will be more. So as I'll put in more size until I have the comfort of really selling into pieces, which I'm working on. We'll see how that turns out. But 15% an average trade, not bad at all. So good week. Finish it strong with MEGL after a red day on Thursday. So we'll take it, and just going to study up now, refresh, take some time off, and get ready for next week. And tomorrow I'll have the watch list out and the video lesson going over the top plays. So put your notifications on, or just remember that. I'll have it posted on Twitter as well. If you don't follow us, check us out on Twitter at Pack a Punch Traders. Besides that, hope everyone had a great first week, made some money, learned something, and let's just relax now and study. So have a good one. We'll catch you.